What's going on, dividend chasers? The Dividend Bloodhound here with another investing episode. In this episode today we are talking why has Hyliion SHLL tortoise acquisition crashed over the last couple of days or so. It has depreciated at least 10% in the last 24 hours, and I believe that there is 3 reasons for that. To find out what they are, you're going to have to stick around after the intro to get involved in this video. If this video does bring you some value, it'd be absolutely fantastic if you could hit the like button and even consider subscribing to my channel if you're not a subscriber already. That all being said, let's roll the intro and I'll catch you on the flip side. Hey again guys, welcome into the video. So as previously mentioned, I'm going to talk about 3 reasons why I believe Hyliion has crashed over the last couple of days or so. Now this is triggered as part of a wider Spac sell-off, to be fair, with the likes of Nikola and Spartan Energy with Fisker also selling off and suffering significant losses. And to be fair, some of the information that I'm about to tell you will be applicable to a lot of Spac companies. So at market close yesterday and in pre-market today, Hyliion has suffered a 10% reduction to its share price. This isn't unexpected with Spac stocks. They are quite volatile, hence the high risk, high reward side of things. But such a sell-off like that to depreciate a company's value by 10% is pretty big worthy news. And now we're going to get into the big 3 reasons why I think that has happened. So the first reason is a ongoing lawsuit that Tortoise Acquisition has suffered from one of its own stockholders. Now this stockholder genuinely believes that the company Tortoise Acquisition has not revealed enough information going forward about how the company is actually going to do things in terms of how it's employing its directors, how long it's going to keep hold of them for, and all the backdoor sales that will happen through the sales of share price. This particular investor doesn't think that enough information has been made public on that, and that has forced Tortoise Acquisition into releasing an actual statement on this, and that statement is in the description below, to actually remedy this, because it's obviously had a knock-on the share price. So Tortoise Acquisition has had to fill in another Form 8K to file with the US Securities and Exchange Commission to essentially give this information to stockholders, and that has been forced by this lawsuit. Now you can get to the link in the description below, but I'll post Tortoise Acquisition's actual statement on it here so you can have a quick read, and I'm not going to read it like a script for you, but do please have a quick look. And if you are a Hyliion investor, it's well worth going onto the actual website and reading this statement and the amendments through thoroughly. I cannot recommend that enough. Hopefully with this information provided, the lawsuit will be settled, and that is one thing that will eventually then go away essentially, and the share price can recover as stockholders and investors are happy. We are rapidly closing in on the vote day to vote for the merger, which is only in 4 days time, and that vote is expected to pass, but this is just another hurdle for them to clear, and it has triggered, like I say, a mini sell-off in the share price. The next reason that I believe the share price has been impacted is the whole Nikola debacle, with Trevor Milton having to leave the company that he essentially helped found, essentially being accused of fraud. Now if you haven't heard about this, I'll quickly just briefly go through it. There has been rumblings that this guy was up to no good for quite a while, but the most recent debacle is there was a Nikola truck in an advert rolling down a hill, giving the impression that it was under its own power, but in fact it wasn't. It was just rolling down a hill, literally just a carcass of a vehicle rolling down a hill. And then Nikola was subsequently, and Trevor Milton was subsequently called out on this, and this is why he's in the position he's in now, where he's had to resign from the company and will work for them on a free basis as an advisor only. He gets to keep certain perks. I'm not going to go into that, but essentially he has had to resign because of the amount of damage it's already done to Nikola. Nikola's share price has absolutely been pummeled. They're way down, like way 50% down now on where they once were. And that is because this company isn't producing anything. It's got no products, no discernible products at the moment, and its only initial income was solar panels on Trevor Milton's roof, which, to be fair, on a company that's probably still worth and was worth like hundreds of billions of dollars, that's a joke really. It's an absolute joke. And this whole debacle, this whole issue has knocked massively investor and consumer confidence in SPAC stocks, special acquisition companies, because a lot of them aren't producing any revenue, just like Nikola, and it just shows how volatile they can be when you get something like this and you can lose 50% of your earnings. It is very high risk, very high reward, this business and this style of investing. You have to know and be prepared to lose some of your money. You can make a lot of money, but in things like Nikola you could also lose a lot of money. However, Hyliion is a little bit different to this because Hyliion is already generating significant revenue. So I genuinely believe that the share price will hold up quite nicely. There has been a sell-off with some people, understandable, but I don't think it will get knocked as far as it could, because unlike Fisker, Spartan Energy, which is producing no revenue, and same with Nikola, Hyliion actually is, and it's producing millions of dollars in revenue. So it's already steps and bounds ahead. It has a product, all of that side of things, so it can continue to grow its revenue properly because it already has that product. And the third reason in this video today is that there has been a wider sell-off across the whole market, across the SP 500, across the US market and the UK market. There has been a massive sell-off due to extra fears creeping back into the market, whether that be a second lockdown, the presidential election, riots, or progress on the vaccine for the health crisis, not making as much progress as some people would expect. And that has caused a lot of people to withdraw their money from the market, in some instances understandably so. And that means that SPACs, especially because a lot of people know them to be risky, them are going to be the first investments people are going to cut. They're going to cash out their profits and get that money back into something safer, like dividend aristocrats, dividend kings, withdraw the money to cash completely or get it invested in gold. I don't think this sell-off is anything to be too concerned about. This is part of being in the market, the ups and the downs. These bad news stories do happen, but in a couple of weeks' time, it could be a completely different story. As for Hyliion, we are massively approaching merger date and the shareholder date, and as that goes through, I expect at least Hyliion to do rather better than maybe the rest of the market, to be fair, and actually beat the market. Personally then, currently, I am still over 100% up on my Hyliion tortoise acquisition position. Yes, I got in very early, so that's allowed me to take advantage of the essential FOMO that's now crept into the share price, as it's going to get pumped up even more, and I'm hoping to carry on taking advantage of that. So my plan, I'm not going to sell anytime soon. I'm going to be waiting until after the merger date and see where the price is then. As aforementioned, the vote is expected to go through. Nobody really expects anything to get in the way of that. It is just a formality, and as long as that lawsuit that I mentioned in reason 1 is all resolved, which it looks like it will be, there is no reason for the share price not to at least get back to where it was at $55 a share, maybe even creeping up towards 60, 70, $80 a share maybe. Just depends on how much the market really does want to pump it. Now, my decision on whether to sell, hold, or do a mixture of both is still pending at the moment. I'll probably release another video when I make my decision on that. Essentially, I'm left with, do I cash out what could be a 200% return and keep the profits and reinvest that elsewhere? Do I hold firm on the company and know that the price might reach $100 or $200 a share in a couple of years' time and make potentially thousands of percent return? Or do I sell, cash out the profits, and then rebuy in at the inevitable sell-off after the merger date? Because I do think there will be a little rundown, a little sell-off, as a lot of people do cash their profits out. So my decision on that is still pending. I haven't made it up, and I will update you guys in due course of what I actually do with that, whether that's the day after I make the decision and I bring it to you, or just beforehand. I'm still not sure, but I'll do my best to keep you up to date of any Hyliion tortoise acquisition news and anything that I do in particular with my shares in the company as well. I hope you've enjoyed the video today. It's been an absolute pleasure to bring it to you. If you could see your way to liking the video and sharing the video amongst your friends, that would be absolutely fantastic. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, it'd be fantastic if you could do that also, and hit that notification bell as well if you're feeling super kind. That being said, it's been an absolute pleasure, and hopefully I will see you in another investing episode. Catch you in the next one. Bye bye.